Hello, Forbes Elementary. It's so good to see you again. My name is Principalina Proctor, and I will be reading to you a story today called Wild About Books by Judy Sierra and Mark Brown. I hope you'll love this story as much as I do. It started in the summer of 2002 when the Springfield librarian, Molly McGrew, by mistake drove her bookmobile into the zoo. Molly opened the door and she let down the stair, turned on the computer, and sat in her chair. At first, all the animals watched from a distance, but Molly could conquer the strongest resistance. By reading from the good Dr. Seuss, she quickly attracted a mink and a moose, a wombat, an oryx, a lemur, and a lynx, 8 elephant calves, and a family of skinks. In a flash, every beast in the zoo was stampeding to learn all about this new something called reading. Forsaking their niches, their nests, and their nooks, they went wild, simply wild, about wonderful books, choosing thin books and fat books and cat-in-the-hat books and new books and true books and heaps of how-to books. Giraffes wanted tall books and crickets craved small books, while geckos could only read stick-to-the-wall books. The pandas demanded more books in Chinese. Molly filled their requests, always eager to please. She even found waterproof books for the otter, who never went swimming without Harry Potter. Hair in my mouth. Raccoons read alone, and baboons read in bunches, and llamas read dramas while eating their lunches. Hyenas shared jokes with the red-bellied snakes, and they howled and they hissed till their funny bones ached. A tree kangaroo who adored Nancy Drew began solving mysteries right there at the zoo, such as why were the bandicoots' books overdue? Gently Molly taught lessons in treating books right, for the boa constrictor squeezed Crichter too tight. Baby bunnies mucked up Goodnight Moon with their paws, and the termites devoured the Wizard of Oz. Those termites. And Bear's love of books was completely outrageous. They licked all the pictures right off of the pages. Tasmanian devils found books so exciting that soon they had given up fighting for writing. They made up adventures so thrilling and new that the others decided to be authors too. Pythons wrote with their tails, penguins wrote with their bills, and porcupines wrote with their very own quills. Look at some of those papers. Are any of you writing stories in school? And maybe some of you helped write some of the stories I'll read. Slippery flippers on the ice, the famous porcupine spy, the famous porcupine doctor, the famous porcupine detective. Mr. Porcupine likes lots of famous books. At the new insect zoo, bugs scribbled At the new insect zoo, bugs were scribbling haiku. The scorpion gave each a stinging review. walking stick. A cannibal twig silently devours a leaf eating, not eaten. Pretentious. The dung beetle. Roll a ball of dung, any kind of poo will do. Baby beetle bed stinks. The millipede. I dig for treasure in my enchanted castle, a rotten apple. Boring. The giant hissing cockroach. Hiss, 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 hiss. Redundant. Scorpion. Here's the cheetah. His story says, It was a dark and stormy night. The wind howled. The moon cast a mournful pale yellow glow. Dogs wailed in the... As the cheetah's new novel began to take shape, I forgot my voice. He read chapters each night to the Barbary ape, and although the gazelle couldn't spell very well, like everyone else, she had stories to tell. Imagine the hippo's enormous surprise when her memoir was given the Zulitzer Prize. That's just so sweet. The Zooberry. With so many new books, Molly knew what to do. She hired 12 beavers, a stork, and a gnu to build a branch library there at the zoo. Then the animals cried, We can do it ourselves. We can check the books out. We can put them on shelves. And they did, and they do up to this very day. 3 cheers for Zooberry. Hip, hip, hooray. When you visit the zoo now, you surely won't mind if the animals seem just a bit hard to find. They're snug in their niches, their nests, and their nooks, going wild, simply wild, about wonderful books. This book is for our favorite doctor, artist, poet, fun concoctor, Theodore Seuss Geisel. I hope you enjoyed this lovely book, and I hope you'll read lots of lovely books this week and write some great stories and books as well. Thank you for joining me for Wild About Books. Have a marvelous day.